At first, everything seemed absolutely perfect. The little stickman, in a green shirt, with a confident smile and chest puffed out with pride, finally found what he was looking for in all the finance forums and YouTube videos: the perfect investment. The one that was supposed to save the planet, end co-emissions, and in the meantime, make his bank account explode like a rocket. It was the magical junction between environmental awareness and easy profit, the dream combo. Excited, he started marathoning motivational videos with titles such as "Make Money Saving the Planet," "Get Rich by Planting Trees Without Leaving the Couch," and even "How to Profit from the New Green Era Without Understanding Anything About the Market." With each play, his eyes grew brighter, as if he had found the holy grail of sustainable capitalism. In his head, he could already see himself wearing an elegant, eco-friendly suit made of organic cotton. Of course, walking through a forest with birds chirping and planting saplings, while the graphic of his portfolio of green bonds rose like a Beethoven orchestra. Everything seemed so obvious, so easy, so beautiful. It was just a matter of buying the right stocks, sitting on the couch with an air of moral superiority, and waiting for the planet to thank you. But as with every good story, there was one small forgotten detail. When something is presented as 100% perfect, miraculous, and flawless, there's usually a trap waiting behind a banner, filled with leaves, flowers, and environmentally friendly slogans. Excited by the green label, our hero decided to do what every impulsive investor does when he believes he has discovered a secret that no one else knows. He put all his money in the so-called miracle investments. No diversification, no strategy, much less prudence. Why waste time with these boring things if the world was on the verge of a sustainable revolution? In his mind, the simple fact of being green was already an automatic guarantee of success, and so, in the first few days after the purchase, he began to walk around the city with his chest puffed out and that annoying air of moral superiority. He looked at the other investors as if they were Marvel villains. Poor things, they still invest in oil and coal, he thought, as he held an organic coffee in a biodegradable cup and took a screenshot of his wallet to post on Instagram with the caption, "Investing in the Future." But that's when the first cracks appeared. The green companies that once promised infinite growth began to appear at the earnings meetings with increasingly strange and generic speeches. Some regulatory unforeseen events, lengthy certifications, adverse market context, unfavorable climate, it all seemed more like an excuse than an explanation. At first the stickman tried to ignore it, thinking it was just a passing phase. But as the days passed, he realized that supposed sustainable profit was actually turning into a loss. And not a temporary loss, but a growing and permanent hole. It was precisely then that the great sustainable circus began to raise its tents. Instead of delivering clear and objective results, companies have started to publish longer and longer reports, full of elegant and vaguely inspiring words: climate neutrality, responsible governance, regenerative ecosystem, positive environmental impact model. There were so many beautiful terms that the stickman even sighed as he read, as if he were in front of contemporary poetry about butterflies and solar panels. There was only one small detail. The more beautiful and sophisticated the words, the redder the graph of his account became. But he insisted, "Calm down, it's just a transition phase. Every planet goes through turbulent times before it blooms." And he continued to browse the reports as if looking for spiritual meaning in a spreadsheet, until, on a rainy afternoon, the email arrived that no one wants to receive. Subject: Recommended Portfolio Adjustment. Subtitle: It may be good to review your full exposure to high-risk green assets. Translation into good old Portuguese: Wake up before it becomes a meme in a WhatsApp group. It was at that moment that the stickman felt a chill down his spine. For the first time, he realized that the trees on the slides were just illustrations, and that positive impact was impacting only his balance down. And if you think that's gone too far, wait until you see what's next in the next part. Oh, and if you want to keep following this story and not miss the next episodes, take advantage and subscribe to the channel right now. Determined to prove others wrong and fully convinced that the problem was just time, our stubborn stickman decided to double down. If it's green, then just wait longer. The greener it is, the more patience, he murmured as he bought even more shares with flower-filled names and inspirational slogans. But the universe and the market began to respond with a series of brutal hammers. First, a large solar energy company announced the cancellation of a project because it could not get some small environmental licenses. Then came the news that an eco-friendly battery factory was being investigated for ... slave labor. Yes, the very thing that was supposed to save the planet was quietly exploiting people. And, as if the script needed a big plot twist, the final blow came. An environmental scandal, involving precisely the company that sold itself as a world leader in nature preservation. The same one who appeared smiling in commercials with children watering plants. At that moment, the stickman froze. He stopped clicking, rationalizing, and simply sat on the edge of the bed, motionless, staring at the ceiling as if finally understanding the big joke. The penny dropped hard. The dream of sustainable profit was not even a slow failure. He was simply born dead, wrapped in recycled paper, and smelled of marketing. Have you ever been through something similar, or know someone who believed 100% in this type of promise? Comment there. I want to know if the stickman is alone in this. With his heart completely crumbled like a dry leaf in the middle of autumn, the stickman finally decides to do what he avoided throughout the process: seek the truth on his own. He starts watching exactly the videos he previously ignored or even ridiculed. Titles such as "The Danger of Greenwashing," "How Companies Pretend to be Sustainable Just to Attract Investors." ESG does not mean guaranteed profit are starting to pop up in history. And each video is like a punch in the stomach, one of those that take the air out and make the subject question all the choices in life. He realizes that he didn't just invest money, he paid happily to participate in a large environmental theater. With a well-lit stage, well-trained actors, and carefully rehearsed catchphrases, the ticket was very expensive, and the popcorn they served was made up of recycled promises and slogans with the smell of eucalyptus. While the stickman sank into this spectacle of illusion, the real world remained the same: pollution increasing, energy crises multiplying. And sadder, the same companies that sold the green discourse secretly profiting from activities that were not, absolutely nothing, sustainable. In a moment of almost cinematic silence, he puts down his cell phone, goes to the mirror, and faces his own reflection: tired eyes, faded smile, green t-shirt now faded. And then the question arises that cuts deeper than any loss report: will I become just a subscriber of empty hope? He doesn't even need to hear the answer out loud. It is stamped on the very eyes, and it hurts more than any drop in stocks. The market, which has no pity on anyone, decided to deliver the final blow with the elegance of a hurricane. No poetic warning, no pretty report. One gray morning, the so-called green stocks begin to plummet non-stop, as if everyone had woken up at exactly the same moment and realized together this never made sense. Finance websites go into panic mode and print scary headlines. Green bubble, end of ESG illusion, the hidden cost of sustainable hypocrisy. Our stickman, already pale and without the old green shirt he wore as a moral medal, holds the cell phone with both hands as if it were an explosive device. With each screen refresh, the number gets redder, uglier, and more painful. Thoughts start to run over each other in his mind. Is it still possible to reduce losses? Should I sell everything now, or is it better to wait? Maybe a last-minute weather miracle will come. But deep down, he knows. Ecological miracles don't appear when the main goal was easy profit. With what little courage he has left, he takes a deep breath, swallows his shame, and with a trembling finger presses the dreaded sell button. The click is silent, almost imperceptibly, but the consequence is devastating. In just a few seconds, the big dream that started with birds singing and lively flowers turns into a mere gray and sad number on the screen. Negative balance. No environmental revolution, no sustainable wealth, no applause from the planet. Just a huge before the final value and an emptiness that echoes in the soul like a cold wind passing through trees that were never planted. Now, sitting quietly and staring at that practically empty spreadsheet where there were once green graphs full of hope, the stickman finally understands. No, the problem is not that green investments are useless or evil. They can have value. They can help, but only when analyzed with awareness, prudence, and critical sense. The mistake was another, believing 100% as if these assets were a celestial shortcut to the financial paradise, as if it were enough to buy some papers with drawn sheets to become a mixture of billionaire and a environmentalist. Right now, the old slogans: invest in the green future, clean profit, regenerative growth, ring hollow, almost comical. For the first time, he realizes that true awareness doesn't start with a cute banner, but with a simple attitude: use reason, not marketing, to make decisions. He takes a deep breath, closes the spreadsheet, and faces the mirror again, but with a different posture. He is tired, yes, but more lucid than ever. And then comes the question that doesn't want to be silent, and that he repeats, looking straight at the camera as if he were talking to you. What about you? It will continue to blindly believe in sustainable labels. Or will you finally learn to analyze beyond the cute colors, dramatic pause, ambient sound decreases? Because the planet deserves responsibility, and so does your money. If this story made sense to you, don't close the video yet. The next episode is already on the screen, where I explain why diversifying is the only attitude really sustainable. Click and watch now before falling into another trap disguised as kindness.